Well, hello and welcome. Today I'm going to be doing another wet on wet painting. I've got a canvas which I prepared by mixing some linseed oil, raw umber, and titanium white together, and then I've applied that and then let it dry. So that's why I've got this kind of like parchmenty color that's got a little bit of a streak to it. I'm going to try this with a liquid clear kind of base, so it's probably going to go on in a few layers, so I don't know, it'll be a little bit experimental, but I think it's going to be fun. So yeah, I'm going to start by just applying some safflower oil to the whole thing, which will give it kind of a slick surface to work into. The scene itself has a rowboat, a sunrise, and a dock, and some water and some plants and things. It's, you know, in a lot of ways, kind of a simple scene, but I think that it's going to work out pretty well. Yeah. Before I get started, I do want to do one little thing, which is going to be to thank the sponsor of this video, because this video has a sponsor, which is exciting. So I'll take a second and do that. CookUnity is a chef-to-you meal delivery platform that connects you with hundreds of fresh, fully prepped meals from award-winning chefs. With CookUnity, you can choose from over 400 meals nationwide each week, including over 45 global cuisines and diets. All meals are handcrafted in small batches in local kitchens near you. There are over 130 chefs on the platform, including Food Network stars, James Beard Award winners, and Michelin star masters. Meals are delivered fully cooked, so all you have to do is heat them up in 2 minutes or less and you're ready to eat. Between work, painting, and editing these videos, I have a pretty full schedule. I like to cook, but sometimes it can be such a relief to have a nice lunch to take with me or comfort food ready to go at night. I've been known to meal prep and eat the same thing for a ton of days in a row, and then I'll get sick of it and order some random takeout that isn't particularly healthy for me. With CookUnity, I can enjoy all kinds of meals without much planning. 3 meals that I ordered were the chicken tikka masala with chickpea dal, wild mushroom risotto with truffle oil and fresh watercress, and Mexican beef chili with cheddar cheese and sour cream. They were all delicious, but my favorite was the risotto by Christy Flores. I love risotto, but it's not something that I would normally take the time to make for myself. If you've ever made one from scratch, you know that's a lot of time simmering onions and rice. I also really appreciate how minimal the packaging is. The meals came in a nice cooler bag with a reusable ice pack, no dry ice or styrofoam. And if you have special dietary concerns in your household, they can have options that work for everyone too. I've been vegan, keto, and gluten-free at different times in my life, and I know how difficult that can be sometimes. As they say, variety is the spice of life though, and I don't disagree. CookUnity is offering my viewers 50% off their first order. Click in the link in the description below and use my code KELZABELL50 to try it out. Great. Okay. Thank you. So now I'm going to apply safflower oil to the whole painting and use that as my kind of wet surface for this painting. I'm also going to add a little bit of Alkyd medium to this as well, just to help it dry a little bit faster. And using this gram walnut Alkyd medium, I'm just going to do a little drop of that. I did this before and it worked actually really well so that it dried pretty quickly, but it also a little faster than the oil would by itself. So yeah. So I'm just gonna give it a quick mix with a knife. It's hard to kind of see if I've got it mixed in, but I think that it will work. Okay. And grab my brush. Ready to go. And because I have that first layer on here, this is going to go a little bit of a longer way than it would otherwise. But when you're doing like a liquid layer like this, you really wanna let it cover the whole surface, but you don't want extra. It's really there just to help the paint slide around. This actually seems like it's going really well. But I found doing a first coat of paint and letting it dry all the way really helps with not feeling like you have to over apply it. Sometimes when the canvas is kind of too thirsty, it will seem like you need a ton of oil or a ton of paint first, and then you realize, you get into the painting and you realize it's a little too much. So this way we're gonna try it kind of thin. Feels pretty minimal. I think it's gonna be okay. I'm just gonna wash this brush out real quick too. Mainly to get that medium out of it. I don't want that drying in my bristles. All right. So now, first thing I'm going to do is mix up some sunrise colors. I'm gonna start kind of furthest back and work in the sky and the water. I've already got kind of a dimmer tone, which will be interesting to work into for my foreground. So yeah, a little bit of an experiment, but we'll see how it goes. Kind of always are. So let's see. I think I'm gonna want some cadmium red light. One of my favorite colors. Especially if I'm doing sunrises, it just always is a good one. Then I'm gonna use some of my new, this Gamboge Lake Extra from Old Holland. I was told, someone told me if money was no issue, just use this paint because it's the best paint, and money is an issue, but I really needed to try it, so I got one too. It does seem to work really well. Like, it's very, very potent, so I think that's going to work really well. And let's see. I need kind of a purple. I think I'm going to use some ultramarine, but I'm going to try to really, really calm it down first. I think is my plan. All right, so. And all of this will have a little bit of white with it. Okay. So I'm gonna start in my sort of middle area. I'll probably work this in a couple of layers, but I'm doing the yellow. And then I'm gonna take a little of this yellow. I'm gonna put a little of the cad red light in. And these are really strong right now. But I'm trusting that they're going to dim a little bit because I'm going to be going over the darker canvas, and I'm also going to be blending them with the oil that's on the canvas now, so I'm not going to try and worry too much about that. And then I'm going to go from this cad red light to a little bit of ultramarine in this. It goes almost to a gray, like a blue gray, which will be whiter than this though, so add a little bit more white in here. And it's gonna be a few different things going on, but we'll start there. So first up, bring in this yellow. And it's gonna go right about here is my sun. It's in the sky. And then I've got a reflection of that sun down here in the water. It kind of drifts just a little bit. And then I've got around that of this orange, which actually maybe seems a little strong, but I'm gonna go bright for now. If it turns out it's too bright, it's not usually that hard to make something dull, but it tends to, when you work with on wet, things tend to dull a little bit naturally anyway, so I'm gonna just trust that. The very bottom edge of the sun has almost like a red tint down here, so I'm gonna put that in too. And now I'm gonna do the same thing here. Let's see. You can almost go just a little bit closer into this. It's so strong though. I'm gonna keep that to the side for now. It's just too much. Okay. There's a up here. Just put a little bit more of the stimuli here. More of the orange. I'm just going to blend that out with a brush. I don't want to go with a real big one. Take this guy. And the nice thing about working this in with the brush is I'm able to kind of work it into the canvas a little bit more. If I just apply it with the knife, then it's just gonna sit on top only, and it'll just look a little bit rougher. When I'm working on a board, I can kind of get away with that a little bit more, but on the canvas you really want to fill it in. It's really pretty when you do. It's already starting to light up the sky a little bit. Okay, don't want to overblend it. Do kind of the same thing here. I think working on a dark surface to begin really makes it light up right from the beginning, which is kind of exciting. Yeah, I like that a lot. Okay, so I've got, just kind of thinking about this as I go. A little bit more yellow that I want to put in up here. And down here I've got more of a sort of pink, orange, yellow, I guess, mix kind of going on. Kind of creating this sort of aura around the sun almost, I guess, I don't know. Okay. Just brush that out a little bit more. trying to not move from one color to the next too quickly, just so I'm not dragging all the colors through my brush. I'm mixing them up. There we go. Need a little bit more of this yellow with white, with cat yellow light, right in here. It might seem a little funny to focus on one area, but the idea is if I get it kind of blended right, I may not go back to this area of the painting at all once I get into the other things. So it's worth being patient with it a little bit. Okay. More to like a light purple. I'm gonna take a little of this red. Start bringing this in here. It's kind of a mix of colors in here, but I think that's okay. They'll get a little bit blended, but I don't want to get them overly blended into the rest of it. Bring some light in here. I think like I see this as being like a really kind of like ethereal feeling scene. Really, ones that seem kind of simple can have the most in them once you build it out. Okay, we'll need to make some more of that. Let's do just a little here. Let's see. I'm using this brush and like a way that goes around the sun. Okay, over here it's getting a little bit more red. Take just a little of that. Yeah, okay. This area I'm going to have some trees coming in here, so I'm not even going to bother to really do too much there. I like the little bits of the parchment color kind of coming through. Something about it compared to compared to the white of the canvas, it's just much more, it just adds a little bit of like interest in it. It feels like a little bit, I guess it's kind of got like an antique feel, which isn't incredibly surprising, but okay. Like that. Clean this brush out a little bit just because I want to blend this area a little bit, but I really want to be careful with it. I don't want to crush the life out of it, I guess. I feel like it's going to take a little bit of subtlety. Maybe I'll even switch brushes, but I was enjoying this one, so maybe just cleaning it out. Sometimes I get going with one brush, and that's the only one I want to use for a while. Okay. Nice and gentle. Almost like this feeling of like the fog hanging in the air. The sun kind of coming through. And then the fog will burn off once it warms up a little bit of the day. Like that. Okay. I want to bring in a little bit more. A little bit more of this ultramarine, and go right into this pile here. This is going to start getting a little bit darker. I'm going to put in this shoreline to make it a little drier. That's pretty close. It's a little too dark. Lighten that just a little bit. A little variety here won't be a bad thing either. Again, I'm gonna have some trees coming in here. It doesn't need to have everything. Just a bit. But this does help me kind of sit in a water line. Quick small brush to it. here. It's like a tree. Maybe a couple of them. And then I'm going to have some foreground stuff happening too. So just soften some of these edges. And then sweep right into the sky. A little of this color from the sun just mix into this edge too. I think that's the kind of thing that just makes it feel like it's all lighting up. I think that's one of the things that Wet on Wet does really well, is just like allow a little of this and a little of that to kind of mix together. Okay. And then I just mirror this down here. Not all, but some. And to just scrub this in with a brush, mainly because I don't want this edge to get really thick. So I could put it on with a knife and then move it around, but really the brush was kind of the quick way to do that. Okay. And then next thing I want to do is put a little bit more of this yellow in right on the waterline. It's kind of thing I often wouldn't do this early in a painting, but again I'm trying to just kind of work it in so that it doesn't necessarily have to get adjusted later. We'll see. It's an experiment. It might work, it might not, you know. It's pretty straight, I think. It's always the other thing that's tricky with these, is like getting it exactly right. That's pretty good though. Just leave the top edge of this sharp, the bottom edge of it soften. That's nice. A different knife and just try to sharpen that up one more time too. It's a little easier with a longer edge like this. That looks pretty good. Alright. I'm going to bring a little bit more light into the water here. Yeah, I think I'll go ahead and do that. Maybe I'm debating whether or not I think I'm going to quickly sketch in the boat and the dock though, because I want to know where they're going to be. So I'm just going to use a little bit of raw umber with oil real quick for this. It's a little chair sitting here too. I'm not gonna do that yet, but that's where that's gonna be. And then the boat. Just because I don't want to put a lot of white underneath this. Seems fairly good. A lot of this is very dark here. There is kind of a light area in here. Okay. I think that's enough sketching for right this minute. Yeah. Sometimes I'll try and keep that kind of stuff in my head, but the more I do, the more I think it's, you know, not so necessary. It's good because I can show you what I'm doing too. Okay. So, come in here. Just put this light in right where it's gonna go. And then a little bit warmer. A little bit in there. I think if I have to come back and kind of cover it when I do the boat, that's fine. It'd be better to have to do that than not have enough of this set in there and then have to fix that later. That's really good. I want to go a little bit bluer, maybe a little redder too. A little white. Work in some things over here too. Streaky's actually kind of good. Blend this in too. I'll try to keep cleaning my brush off as I do this, so I don't want to track a lot of this white into my sunset colors. I think that they're sunrise colors. I think it's a sunrise. I'm not sure if there's actually a way to tell, other than if you know the place. For this one, I don't. Just a cool picture I found. So, I'm gonna call it a sunrise though. Feels like a sunrise to me. It's kind of like a glare on the dock that's the same tone as this blue. I don't know if that'll be useful or not, but sometimes I like just, when I notice something like that, I just like putting it in. Actually, kind of the same idea on the inside of this boat too. I try not to lose that edge. I kind of like to remember it, but that's okay. Let's get a smaller brush for a second and do some of this blending here. That yellow, my old cadmium yellow was just, I don't know, I just got sick of it. I feel like it was always like weirdly disappointing, and I don't know, it wasn't even a real cadmium because it was like one of the student grade paints. It's like okay, but I've gone through a couple of them and I still wasn't impressed. Let's see, it's kind of cool. neutral. Feels a little bit more blended. I'm gonna keep doing this though. I don't know, I should stop messing with it, but it looks like something that could do a little better. I'm just kind of, sometimes I get into a groove. Let's see where I can take it. I'm actually thinking about doing something kind of fun next. And I don't want to get too ahead of myself though. A thought came to me. A thought was whether I could do anything interesting. That wasn't at all what I was hoping it would do. I was wondering if I could lift any of that paint back off and kind of create some of my foreground shapes, but it doesn't seem like it wants to do that. That's okay. I'll just paint them on. Kind of soften some of this stuff and smooth it out too. That's why not. Can be make a big brush. Okay. Now the question is how far do I want to go into this with it all wet? I think I am going to take an attempt at the boat. I'm going to use, well, it doesn't want to be the knife in this painting, so we'll do a different knife for this painting. Alright, I'm going to try out this little pointy one then. And for that, let's start by putting in an edge on the top of the boat. Really, maybe I'm not even going to do that edge. I think in a way that edge is lost. It's kind of in the, water. It looks the same as the water, and that's the sort of edge that goes across this area here. So I'm going to just mix in a little ultramarine, a little raw umber, because this is going to be a pretty dark color. I'm going to sort of plug this in a few places. Just kind of try to carve out inside of the boat. A little bit slight glow here. It's almost, you can almost miss it, but I'm gonna just gonna kind of plug it in because I've got the color. Yeah, I'll try that. And then the inside here, got kind of drawing with the tip of this knife to get these round shapes. And then I'll kind of go across to get the straight ones. It's kind of working. A little cobalt to this white here. And see if I can make it work. Knives work so good for painting boats though. They're definitely a good tool for it. Quick, a little bit of ultramarine. Let's see if I can get this edge color right. It's pretty decent. Okay. Here, I've got the yellow edge. Really good, okay. Take a touch more cobalt. Inside of the boat's actually a little bit cooler looking than the blue of the sunrise, or that where that's showing up. It's a little bit a little warmer in general. And it's coming down here. This could go, actually goes a little bit more red in this corner. It's the kind of thing that almost seems like overkill to think too much about, but I feel like with the boats especially, I feel like if I get these colors right, sometimes I can just not do anything else with them, and they're just right, I guess. I don't know how else to describe it. This corner here, I've really gotta make it better, I guess. Don't know how else to describe it. It's tricky, like I've gotta get these two things to meet and like fairly cleanly. Okay. Not too bad. Could be better. Try and smooth it out a little bit, I guess. That actually kind of worked. starting to look like it has a form now. It took a little getting there, but I think it's working. Okay. Now in here, I want to bring a little cobalt, a little ultramarine. Can be a fairly dark blue, maybe even some of that umber mix. And I'm going to go right in here. Let that be darker. And this edge right here. And actually make it a little bit brighter, kind of raise it up. So a little bit more white. Maybe even a little of this yellow. A little tricky, let's see. Oh, there we go. That's the idea. Okay. Do a little bit of the same on this edge here. Well, that's coming along better than I thought it was going to. Alright, let's do a little bit more of that here. I don't want it to start looking too uniform though either, so I'll probably stop with that soon. I think it might be best to focus on getting the rest of this in now. Just kind of some different plants and things down here. And this dock's gonna be a little tricky. I think this is gonna have some alizarin, kind of a dark alizarin color, kind of scratched into a lot of it. Yeah, actually, that's kind of nice, and I like the canvas weave is actually working really well here. I might not even go quite as far with this as I thought I was going to. I like the contrast in it. It's kind of impressive so far. And actually, this little knife is working really well. Better than I expected it to. But I can kind of get into little corners with it, which is definitely helpful. Let's see. I like how this is looking kind of scratchy though. I almost don't want to fill it in too much. Let's do. Okay, that works. Let's get a little bit more of that ultramarine raw umber mix. I think this side of the dock feels a little bit, it's like a cooler tone. And I ended up bringing it in a little bit further. This makes the perspective a little bit more dramatic, I think. Let that be there. That's pretty good. And then down here, I want to go really dark. Even put a little viridian. Some of these colors are kind of like near black, so they're not necessarily like, they're mostly there for the value kind of in a way, but I like kind of including or keeping in mind the colors. So it's more of a green area down here. So if it does get a little bit lightened by like the white that's down here, it'll make sense, you know? I think you can leave this kind of jagged and knifey here too. Maybe I'll play with doing like a lot of different textures in this painting. Can see it working pretty well that way. Let's see. So I'm gonna take a little more of this yellow too. I like that this is a transparent yellow. Like I don't know if anyone really uses a transparent yellow like this that often, but I feel like this might be neat. But it just kept that whole thing from getting muddy. It kept it dark, but did move it like a little bit more golden, which I kind of like. Let's start bringing some of these shapes here, like these cattails that are kind of falling over. Like that. Maybe make a little more of that. So I could a little of everything in here. So I think it was something like that. Again, it stays dark. Doesn't have to have all the answers in it. Start carving out this treed area too. Don't go too far with that just yet. Do a little alizarin viridian dark right here too. Just and then here, take a little of that, and just kind of start building this. I'm seeing more kind of blue tones as I get in here, so I just keep doing that. Again, I'll keep it kind of rough because it actually suits these plants pretty well. I'm dragging in some of this light here too. Okay. Make up a bunch of this green color. So I'm gonna go some of that. More of this yellow. So I like it. Tops of these cattails are kind of hidden left, I guess. I don't know. I'm just gonna try making these shapes. I can even connect them later. Like I can just create some stems for them as I go. Oh, that's nice. If you kind of go up and away, that's a better shape for them even. So up and away, up and away. I'll probably layer these in a few different colors. A few doing other things though. Okay, a little bit more. A little bit of umber, a little bit of alizarin. Go just a little warmer. I'm going to bring these up a little bit higher. A little risky, but I think it might be worth it. So I'm gonna blend these out a little bit. I'm gonna put another kind of layer in on top of them. But I wanted to start building up a little depth, so having some of these be like a little blurred, I think is gonna be kind of nice. Crazy as it might look right this minute. I don't know. I just play with paint. Sometimes it works. I think that's kind of the difference of having a human do this versus like a printer. Like, obviously you could just print this picture out, but it wouldn't do this. It wouldn't laugh while it was doing it. I think this corner, this is like, I like it to have some interest to it, but I also feel like it's also kind of a resting place. So I don't want it to, yeah, it's more to frame in the view. Down. Let's see. Make some more. Yeah. somehow it's like your brain knows what to do with it, even if there's not all that much information here. It's just it sort of works. A little bit more brown, a little more yellow. Let's see if I can get them to glow a little bit on the edge here. Oh, these are a little thick. Probably clean the knife off just a little. You need like enough paint so it can do that, but not so much. Yeah, not so much either. I don't want it to feel like there's more stems. Like that kind of worked. Okay, maybe that's better. Maybe up and over with the big side of the knife. Alright, I like that. Okay. I don't want to, there's some light I want to bring in. Just gonna come in through here. It's just like some of these are like knocked over. And the light's just able to pop through. I'm gonna light it up. Kind of nice. Okay, get a little light into this mix. Let's see what happens. Got these tree branches over here. Keep kind of building them in. See what happens. I'm enjoying the knife for the branches right now. It gets scary. I'm kind of just having fun, so I'm not gonna worry about it. Okay. Let me bring this in too. Okay, and I want to go a little bit toward a red. This is going to be also a little wild, but I'm gonna actually cover a lot of this. I'm gonna go pretty dark with these trees, but I think just a little bit of this kind of shimmering through is gonna be kind of nice. So I'm just gonna go for it. And then we go Meridian, alizarin, and it's kind of warm. I'm gonna dull it back just a little bit, keep it warm by putting the raw umber in. And then I'm gonna try and gently put some of the branches in here. Try and figure out how I'm doing this, but I think that's the general idea. I think ideally going up with the branches is better than going down with them. Just put a little bit, fill in some darker shapes here. I get the feeling of these like very small leaves, kind of. Just kind of go across it every which way. Like that. Okay, I'll try and do see if I can get the right kind of I have the right feel, I think. No, that was a kind of a risky way of getting there. I wanted to try it. I think I might let that about close to a kind of let it sit point. Actually, I really like it. I think I got a lot further than this one than I thought that I was going to. And I want to fill in this little area right here because I've got it wet and it's not quite everything I was aiming for it to be. So let's just get this in here. Just try to match it real quick and see if it's close enough. Oh, that's pretty good actually. I just want to stick in here. Not too bad. A little small water line there. Actually, I can't see it, which is a little annoying. But I feel like if it's, I don't know. I'm not sure it needed quite that much. Let me cover that up a little bit. Let's get this kind of mucky water line going here. Little bit of fire there. It's just this light coming right up and hitting these in the low branches there. Same idea. Don't want to overdo it, but alizarin, cadmium red light, I think. Just like a little bit. Cool. Alright. I think I'm gonna let this one rest a little bit and dry up, and I gotta paint my little bench on it. It looks so cute. I don't want to do that now, right? No, I'm gonna wait and paint the bench when it's fresh, and I'm gonna do just a little bit of more adjusting here and there, but I'm really liking how it's going so far, so. Well, I'll be back in a few. Alright, and I'm back. This painting, I've been just thinking about it, and honestly, like, I don't want to do a whole lot else to it. I think that, I'm gonna do a couple things, but, you know, nothing too major. I feel like I've almost gotten into, like, a rhythm where I've been making every painting like a 3-hour painting. And honestly, just because it feels good to keep going on them, but, you know, I think it's also good when something just is simple and nice to let it be. And I think this one is like that, so I'm gonna do a couple of minor things. I'm really gonna try not to get carried away with this. And I'm gonna sign it, and then I'm gonna be done. So let's get into that. So the main things that I want to do is I want to there's a couple of like little blue highlights in here that are just the light coming through the plants, and I want to put those in. And then there's also like some little light blue and white sort of leaves and some kind of streaks from these long boards on the dock, which I knew I was going to come back to, but I didn't want it to mix in with this alizarin red, so I'm just going to give that kind of like a little bit more of a rustic feel. And then I want to paint the bench in. It's just a cute little bench, and I think it will be nice to have a little spot for your eye to sit there. But that's really it. I think that's the plan. So I'm gonna mix up. I'll do kind of like an alizarin Viridian dark. That's gonna be my outline for the bench, and then I'm gonna do a light blue gray. That's gonna be both for some of these leaves in here that I want to put in some highlights, and then also for the boards. Pretty simple. So, and I'm gonna keep a small knife for this. I think that will work out well. alizarin meridian. It looks like the light on this bench is mostly fairly warm, so I'm going to keep it on the kind of warm side of purple. And I'm going to try and do this just with the knife too. Had a pretty good run on this with just the knife, so I'm going to start, I'm going to just kind of go for it. Get this little one here. I just put this little line here. I've got another one sort of here. And then sort of leg and back that's there. And another vertical, kind of similar there. Just gonna put these little boards in across. And these gotta go down about like that. It's a little tricky. These kind of small linear shapes can be that way. Grab just a tiny bit of oil. It might help this go on just a little smoother. Still gonna be kind of limited by the canvas, but I think if I get it just about right, it will be fine. About right. I don't really want to have this be too complicated. It's really just a silhouette. I think that works. Sharpen this up just a little too, same way. Yeah, I don't think there's any need to overthink that. Mix up a little bit of the light blue. I may use a couple different tones for this actually. Let's start with a raw umber and ultramarine type gray. Throw in some white. It's pretty good gray. Not bad for I'm just grabbing some things quickly. So just put in a little bit of this highlight here. Edge of this bridge, or the dock rather. Okay. This kind of inner edge is brighter. I really don't know how far I'm not gonna take this too far. Just try and use this texture a little bit. Just kind of get, I don't want this rough texture in here. Just trying to kind of like abbreviate it though. There's like some very weathered boards and some leaves kind of stuck on here. Different things happening, but that might be about there. I don't know if I need to do too much else. I tend to put a little bit of yellow in there too, but I'm gonna wait. I want to put in, these are, so as I'm looking at this, I feel like these little bright pops of blue. Let's grab a little phthalo and a little bit of viridian. Can keep it a little bit blue-green. And just kind of throw them in. There's especially like right along this top area. This could even be a little lighter, I think. There's a little bit. Some different colors kind of popping through here. Kind of brings the light. And then down here, almost a little bit more purple, but similarly some bright stuff. Pretty nice. I think I'll just do just a little yellow and actually, yeah, just use a little of this yellow. I don't even know if I need that cat. It's such a white. Just a couple of these little bright edges. There we go. I think that's it. I really don't think I need to overdo it. I'm gonna step back one time, just double check myself, but alright. I think we're good. Alright, go ahead and give it a signature. Maybe this light kind of teal color is a good one. Alright. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this, and I hope you have a wonderful day or night, or whatever you're off to next.